Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive podcast. Today I have the beautiful Miss Eileen Head, who is a Live Best life coach who focuses on a lot of stuff that digs into what makes love love and personality and bringing it all together. But she's going to be sharing that with us, and I can't wait to get started. So, welcome. I'm just so excited you're here.
Thanks for having me on for this lovely chat.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And
But
I love the name of your podcast because no
oh,
matter what age you're at, no matter what your dreams are, what you're yearning for, um, keeping hope alive is crucial to bringing your dreams true.
beautifully said. I agree 100% because you have to hold on to the positive energy. And if you set goals for yourself, even if it was work, but in relationship stance, you got to hold on to hope because there will be somebody out there someday for you. So until that happens for anybody in the same boat, hold on to hope. It works. So you just got to be confident and understand who you are as a person too. So um I was going to ask you a quick question before we get started. Out of the last 15 years, how many weddings have you been to?
One.
1. Okay, that's good. The other question is, let's pretend that you are entering a wedding ceremony. We're going inside a church. Usually you have to sign something for the bride and groom to know you were there. What are they signing?
Your guest book, generally.
Yay! Yes, perfect. Okay, so one of our biggest sponsors here is lifeonrecord.com. So instead of having that guest book, what it is a vintage phone the guests can pick up and
Mm.
say, yeah, it's so cool. You just go, you pick up the phone. Congratulations, you two. I'm so happy for the both of you. This is your big day. We love you. And you could be like, love grandma, grandpa, whatever, whatever you want to say. And then maybe it's a groomsman going, it's about time you put a ring on her finger. But you can use this for any kind of event. Also, I just like to use it for the wedding part. So,
That is
um,
so cool. And you know why that's so special? Is because it captures the high frequency of love and celebration and fun and excitement that that couple can listen to for years to come. That is brilliant.
you just said it. Yay. I was like, you just said everything I was going to say. Yeah. I call it the gift of voice, hearing that, but you beautifully said it. Now, when you're also in line, this is a really cool, they have a QR code. So if you didn't want to pick up that phone or you wanted to do it later, you can get your own cell phone and scan that and leave that message. Now, what they do with the messages, they'll burn it either on a 12-inch vinyl record for you or they have a keepsake speaker. So you
Wow.
get this phone number. Listen to this. You got to send the phone back, but you get the phone number for 1 year. So they can call in anytime and leave that message for you. And especially weddings, I was like, it'd be so cool before their 1 year to call back and be like, happy anniversary, too, something fun like that. But their plans start at $99. Great rate. Fun service. I love it. To check out more details, go to www.lifeonrecord.com. All right. So let's get started. I know this is going to be a great podcast and everything. Eileen, hey, I love your name, by the way, but who is Eileen?
I'm a I'm a gal who's been on a journey for a lot of years, as all of us are, right? I was
Yep.
married for 35 years. I married my high school sweetheart. Thought we'd be married forever. And we just weren't able to put our personalities together to figure out how each of us needed love and validation and appreciation. And so the energy dissipated, and it got to be very challenging to stay in that relationship. I started to feel out of integrity because I no longer loved him. And so I left that marriage. And as I left, found the Enneagram personalities. And everybody stumbles over the name, the Ennea what? And either people say, oh, I love the Enneagram, or they say any of what. It is one of the most advanced personality models that there is. When you read your profile, when you figure out your personality, and I help people do that because sometimes they type themselves wrong, it is so freakishly accurate. It's like reading your own biography.
Oh,
And I
that's
became so
awesome.
passionate about it that I began to teach it.
That is really cool. I mean, that is something that I'm constantly even learning through this podcast more about me. And I just like, I'll sit back and go, for anybody who wants to get to know me, just watch the podcast. I'm my true self with every episode here. So, but definitely. So when you have people come to you, it just sounds like reading their personality, you said, right? And just taking that in can help them define a little bit about who they are and have a better understanding, right?
Not a little bit, a lot.
A lot.
So
Okay.
people can spend a lifetime trying to figure out who am I? And the confusing thing is that we're different with different people, or we feel we're different with different people because we're reacting to them. When you learn your Enneagram, you will know how you think, feel, act, react, how you feel emotionally loved, what you bring to a relationship, what is your partner's style, how to communicate. And then when there's 9 personalities, by the way, in the Enneagram. And when you understand the other ones, and I do personality readings, so I put 2 couples together or 2 personalities, or to help them understand. A lot of times, the conflict in relationships is personality differences.
Yeah.
We expect others to think and feel like we do, which would make life really, really boring. But it can also make us feel uncomfortable until we really become grounded in who we are. So when I left that 35-year marriage, friends of 20 and 30 years not only walked away from me, they aggressively were angry with me. They
Oh,
would
wow.
they, they would see me and they were angry. What happens is when you change your values, you don't fit with them anymore. And they
Hmm.
believe stay in a marriage no matter what, whether you're unhappy, whether you're making each other unhappy. I thought I was being more honoring to myself and to my ex-husband by
Yeah.
leaving the relationship. And I was. It was a time because of the Enneagram, I felt the most powerful. I could not go into, um, I chose not to go into the victim state. Poor me. They knew I was unhappy for a long time. Why are they doing this to me? Why are they reacting? Life is never about why they are doing it to us. Everybody's
Hmm.
an actor on our stage. And we
Yeah.
get to grow through that life lesson and that experience of what we're going through.
Yeah. Exactly what you toppled on to saying you didn't want to be in the victim state. Like, I totally understand that. And I wish, you know, I think if you're in especially like a toxic relationship and you try to explain to your mom or dad, like, hey, this is actually happening, A, B, C, D. Oh, we'll make it work. And it's like, no, this is not good. Like, for me, it was just like, I have my kiddo with me. So not only am I protected of me, but I'm protected of my kids. And if I want to go very far, I'm protective of my pets too, because that energy, and I say energy with it because it
Mhm.
is based on energy. If you don't want to be around it, you do find a way to move on if you're not married. I would say get to know somebody first, really good. It's good that you guys known each other for so long and everything. So, and I'm so sorry at the same time because I know it's hard to go through. Yeah. But hey, we're strong women and we come out on
I
top.
would not be who I am today doing what I'm doing if I'd
Yes.
stayed in that marriage.
Yes.
And
I
and
totally understand.
all of us have grown through it, including my sons. And because of the Enneagram, I was able to do it in a very positive way for everyone. I was able to bring everyone through it where we were still having suppers, all of us together once a month with no animosity. Um, we worked on our own stuff on our own
Yeah.
without bringing it, it's not our kids. Uh, it's not their job to make us happy or work us through it, right?
Yeah.
But
Correct.
it's because he chose to play the victim quite hard that other people were reacting the way they were, but he didn't know any other way. He
Yeah.
didn't know any other way. So, there's so many life lessons that continue to come through that. And as an actor on my stage, they all taught me those people who, we'd meet face to face, and it was like, oh, they taught me to be strong, to validate what I needed to be healthy and to honor myself.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely. Now, the other thing, law of attraction, I wanted to talk about that and dive into that a little bit and see what your point of view, how you would define law of attraction.
Well, law of attraction is, and manifesting is all about frequency. And it's not about bringing things to you, it's about becoming what you desire.
Hmm.
And so I have many examples of, I was able to, with the Enneagram. So the Enneagram has a path of development. It shows you what patterns are sabotaging you, what your limiting beliefs are, and why you feel unworthy in the world. And then how to transform that to become your best self, to become more conscious. That raises your frequency and your vibration. And so I learned all of that through growth. I manifested selling my house in a repressed market in 3 weeks, 45,000 over what any realtor told me I would get. They were all shocked. And then on my vision board, I had a picture of a house that I wanted. And it was very specific. It was in an adult community. It was end unit, sunny, walkout basement. Um, what else did I stipulate? And I can show you the pictures to the tree out front. That popped into the portal of my real estate agent. I walked in and I immediately purchased it. I wanted to, another example is about 3 years ago, I play pickleball a lot. And my friends, a lot of my friends were married and they were going down south for the winter. And I thought, gee, I'd really like to go someplace, but I'm single
Yeah.
and I don't have a lot of money, and we always look for the how can we do that? That's not that's not how it works. Put
Yeah.
out there what you desire. Let go of expectation and outcome. I get a phone call from a friend of a friend, and he says, "You know what? I've got a condo on the beach in Puerto Morelos, Mexico. There's nobody in it in November. I will rent it to you for $100 Canadian per person per week for 2 weeks." How does
Done.
that happen?
Like, done deal.
Right? And then I had another friend at the same time who was going to Mazatlan, and she said, "Come down and stay with me for 2 weeks."
Yeah.
And so I went there and I said, I really like this. I'm going to come back in January. And so many people in that complex said, "You'll never get in. It's always booked." And yet I looked around and inside of me, I felt, no, I will be back. I will get it. I got January, February, March, and then I booked the next year and the next year. And I'm going for my fourth year down there.
Oh, wow. That's
So I
good.
spent 6 months on the beach in Mexico. I could give you so many other examples of things that I've manifested and how I do that. And it's, I have a course coming out next week, and
Hmm.
it is about creating your dream vision. It's about creating vision boards, but not just vision boards, but how you work with your personality to create the dream and the vision. And then how do you let go of the limiting belief, and also, how do you work with the frequency to bring that to you? I'm really excited.
Wow. You see, like, and when you were talking vision board, my brain was like, okay, back in the day, this is like way before I had to be like maybe 14 or 15. I knew I wanted to be a certified wedding planner, but I wanted to plan my dream wedding. So I remember getting poster board, going through all these magazines. Okay, I'm going to get married here. This is the color of the bridesmaids' dresses. These are the flowers I want. So when I got proposed to at like age 20, I guess 19, 20 or whatever, I just pulled out that poster board and I was like, it's all planned, even down to the reception place. It was a country club here in Texas, and I did have my reception there. I was like, okay, so this was done deal. I manifested that. It was right on cue, even with the dress colors and stuff, and, but when you set goals and the vision board idea with their personalities, I'm so intrigued to learn from you. So, but if you ever need me, I could tell you something about me and you could just analyze me here.
Well, if you'd taken the personality test before this, I certainly could give you some information on it. How it's benefited me is there's 9 personalities and there's 9 behaviors of people. There's healthy behavior and unhealthy behavior.
Mhm.
So it helps you to understand people sometimes, even when they're behaving badly or responding to you. There are so many benefits to learning the Enneagram program, which I also teach and mentor people in. Um, it elevates your life so much. My kids, I know what personalities they are. My ex-husband, people I meet, I can respond to them the way they're looking to respond, still being myself, right?
Yeah.
Um, the benefit of manifesting from your personality type, we don't cut I don't cut out pictures out of magazines anymore. I actually open up
Yeah.
a PowerPoint and ahead of time we create the statements. Um, and there is a way of the words you use are so important because your brain accepts everything you say as fact. So if you say, I want to be healthy, I don't want to be in pain anymore, your brain hears pain, manifests more pain. So I also help create the statements that you're going to be saying, and then we create the vision board in the high frequency vibration that's going to bring that to you.
Yeah.
I was out on my patio when I came back from Mexico this year. I had a difficulty clicking back into the energy. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and I was sitting on my patio and I just started working with the frequency again. And all of a sudden, I felt myself click in, and there's like a hum. When you are on the high vibration or the high frequency of bringing things in, there's like a hum. You are in the hum of it. And so it is working with that on a daily basis that you start to bring these sell your house. Realtor said, no way you're ever going to do that. Like tons of them, just, and it was, well, I don't know. I think I'm going to list it for this. I think I'm going to get this.
Yeah.
And in
Good.
3 weeks.
Good, good, good. Yeah.
So it's learning, and along the way of all this, the goal is to lead a more conscious life, to lead a life that is more positive, that is happier, that is more joyful, that you can give back more, that you can contribute more and be in service to other people of. That's what it's all about.
Yep. And that's a good way also to look at it and everything. I know with all your teachings and everything that you've done, do you go about finding couples reaching out to you and wanting to do like Zoom meetings as well?
I do. Yeah, I coach on Zoom for sure.
You
I
do?
have, yeah, I have put couples back together. A couple of them. The fellow came to me and he said, "We've been to therapists. You're our last hope. If this doesn't work, we're done." And they went out of here with sparkles in their eyes.
Good.
Another couple was 25 years married and came to some patterns that were sabotaging them, serious patterns that broke them up. And he came to me, which is really odd. He's an 8 assertive personality who generally doesn't ask for help. It's my way or the highway. This is how it's going to
Mhm.
be. And he came to me and he said, "You tell me what to do. I'll do it," which I was thrilled. And I did 10 days of intensive coaching with them, learning about the Enneagram and how they think and feel and react to each other. They said it was the richest conversations they've ever had.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's really, really good.
And so
So,
when you're single,
mhm.
you need to know what you bring as yourself in a personality pattern. What do you bring to a relationship? What is the gifts you bring? What is it that you can work on before? The Enneagram is not like the zodiac where, only certain personalities. You can be with any personality. It's the consciousness, the healthy consciousness of each that can help. But there certainly are personalities that you resonate with more. And this
Mhm.
is like the Enneagram's been around since the 1700s. There is a lot of scientific data on all patterns of behavior. So I mean, it just becomes this juicy, oh, that's another reason why I didn't know I had this side of me. That makes sense. I didn't know where that came from. And when it comes to consciousness, like for me, I always sort of liked aesthetics in the house, but I didn't think I was creative at all. And when I learned that I had, my path of development was to go to the expressor personality. I'm a two supporter helper personality, and they are really focused on aesthetics. I went, oh, that's where that comes in. I understand. Or when we go into our stress pattern, and my stress pattern is the eight asserter, more, I can become more, um, I see I gotta quit using my hands. The
Well, that's
camera's
all right.
flashing. I don't know if it's flashing on your end or not, but let me just, my mouse here, something else has come up here, see if I can get rid of it.
Okay.
Um, and so it can help you to understand those other parts of you, your stress patterns, for instance. When I get stressed, I can become a little more direct and aggressive, but it doesn't feel great. And then I go back to my other personality. So once you start understanding all these patterns of behaviors that are yours and really resonate with them, I have to shut something off here because it's affecting my
Okay.
screen.
Yeah, not a problem.
Things are going, I've never seen this where it jumps around. Of course, when I get excited, I start to use my hands, and I'm just
I
going to
do
shut.
too. I my new job, it's just doing call center stuff, but I guess I'm really passionate and I'm like, this is why you need this. And this is what, and I noticed I started holding my hands down in my lap
I'm sorry.
because I don't
I'm
want my
sorry for all of you
coworkers.
watching that it's going to be flashing, but that also is energy. That also is an example of what
Yeah.
energy can do to technology. And
Oh, yeah.
if there's, we can lead such a more joyful, juicier
Hmm.
life than we're currently living if we learn some skills and techniques. And I love coaching and I love mentoring. And, whether it's stay or go or singles or couples or anybody.
Yep, definitely. So, one of my, I don't know what, I'm going to call it a gift. It's the weirdest gift, and I'll share it with the world. But I always tried to understand, why do I have this? And maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way, but I can be in a public place and I pick up on people's energy. But it seems like the people that are having a hard time in their life, or, there's just something like, you need to talk to this person. And I will be like, no, I don't want to, but then I end up hearing their stories and I'm like, okay, now I see why, because I took that chance and followed. It's like having a little spiritual guide with me. They need to be heard. Talk to them. It's not about the podcast now. You're in real life, go do this, just be your friendly, bubbly self and do it. And I've been doing that for years. So I've heard so many interesting stories. But
That is a spiritual gift that you have. I also teach spirituality. You are an empath.
yeah,
And
big
so
time.
when you can feel, is it jiggling on your end or just my end?
It could be your end. I'm kind of moving a little bit on my end.
It's
No.
jumping all around on my end.
Oh, okay.
That's my energy is high, and sometimes my energy can throw the technology. That you have a very special gift of an empath. You can feel other people's emotions, and you also have the gift of intuition. So you're picking up on and that one, the two supporter personality in the Enneagram is a personality that also resonates with being an empath. You can be an empath with any personality, but those are some of the traits of the two personality uh, profile as well. But
Yeah.
I'd like to share with you more about your gifts on that, and
Of course.
that's why you probably have your podcast. You are in service of other people.
Yeah, and I don't know really, like with my job that I just got, they do that test on personality and stuff like that, but I've never asked them and I want to know now. I had two bars in the middle, just like even with each other. And I'm like, and I think it was like, "Oh, you're happy, you work really good with people," and they were like, "She's right here aboard her." I was like, "Oh my gosh." That tells me about me and how bubbly and high energy I can be, but trying to help people out all the time. So, I guess that was a good score, we'll see. So,
Well, there are different personality models for sure.
yeah.
Like Myers-Briggs, it is based on how you think to solve problems, etc. The
Yeah.
Enneagram tells you how your personality was formed at the age of 7 to get your needs met. You looked out on your family and said, what can I do to get the most love and attention? And then you create that patterns that become identified as personality traits. And the cool thing about the Enneagram is you can start letting go of patterns very specific to your personality that will you can shift negative patterns. So as a two supporter, one of my patterns was, well, I just want to help everybody. I have all this knowledge and I can help people. And there were people like, yeah, no, I'm not
Mhm.
interested. And it was like, what do you mean? Or they would say, you're too intrusive. How could I be intrusive? My intention is just to help. But to other people, I was attached to the outcome. And
Yeah.
it was how my value was rolled up into that belief. And so do I help now? Yes, but I do it in a very different way. I ask permission. Are you open to some feedback? Here's what I'm picking up, or here's what I sense, or something like that. So the other person doesn't feel there's a right way and a wrong way, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
here's what and you might, even everything is in languaging too. I teach languaging, um, positive languaging, and it can be, you might consider trying this. My sense is this might be good for you. Check that out, right? There's
Yeah,
different.
I like that. You know what? I know I'm gonna be calling you after this show because, man, if I knew this back in the day, it would have helped me instead of me feeling like weird or feeling like an outcast or what are they going to think? Because I was so scared of my gift. One time at karaoke, there was this older gentleman that would go there all the time, but it was like I don't know, my hands get hot. I felt like I had to go talk to him, and I go, It's weird, but I feel like I'm not what's the word? I go to church, but I'm not that religious, if that makes sense. I believe in a higher calling and everything, but for that day and that moment in time, I said, can I have your hands? I just want to say a prayer for you. I don't know what's going on in your life. And he goes, okay. And it turns out I did this prayer, but it was the best feeling after doing it because I've never done that at all. And I still don't. I don't know why, but for that one person, and I did not see that person for another 4 to 5 weeks. He goes, you remember that prayer you did? And I go, yeah. They found something in me with my blood, and I could have died from it, but your prayer, I think, helped me, and the doctor saved my life, and I was like, in my head, I don't want to take all that credit, but, I'm just happy I prayed for him now. It was just one of those things. And, here you are also doing the same work and teaching people. And I think it's the best gift. And I know it's the best gift. I want to know about my personality all the time because I'm a runner in relationships. And I don't know why, if it's all the past and triggering stuff, and things that happened not only with me, but medical wise, if I had to go to the hospital, it's just I feel like I don't wanna put all this pressure on somebody, so I try to put my boundaries up and be very careful, but at the same time, I bring them down very fast because I don't wanna be the person who's alone in life. I wanna be happy, and, just like when I worked at Macy's, I saw an older couple hand in hand walking by the Waterford, and I go, "That is what I want right there." You
Yeah.
know?
And you can manifest that. You truly have a gift, a spiritual gift for sure. Your hands heating up are an indication. It
Yeah.
was your guides or angels that gave you validation, not
Mhm.
only your hands heating up, but that man coming back to you. And you can grow those gifts. I use lots of healing modalities to help people with their limiting beliefs, with their past traumas that they have had, with their challenges in life. It's all a perception, and it's a story that a lot of people hold on from their past that keeps them in that negative, low vibration. And I help them to, um, uh, it's their responsibility to create the healing for themselves. But I present the modality for them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it's life changing. It truly is life changing when the spiritual concepts. Everything happens for a reason. There are no accidents. Everybody is an actor on your stage. What is my life
Yeah.
lesson in this? All of those things create a whole different life for you.
It sure does, it sure does, and some people will learn that, and some people are just starting to go through the journey. I know for me, I'm awake, and I remember the moment I became awake, and not too many people are like, "You mean you were sleeping and you woke up?" No, it's not that. But, I kinda leave it alone because I think through everybody's journey, they're gonna go through the same thing. So and it's not for one person to say anything. I had to learn that through my friend a long time ago, but she was absolutely right. And, it's just when it's your time, it's your time. And even if, I'm here at what, age 46, and this happened about 10 years ago or something like that, but I still hold on to that learning journey. So, but
Well,
yeah.
sometimes we're there to plant seeds, right?
Yep.
Sometimes people are not open to be open at the current
Mhm.
time, but we've planted a seed. Sometimes, because of my confidence and my growth, for people who haven't done aren't yet there, I can trigger people and they can react negatively, and I'm okay with that
Yeah.
because I am an actor on their stage. And if I'm triggering them, that's an opportunity for them to work with that
Yep. Yep.
or not yet, as long as I let go of outcome. Or if I see that I've triggered someone, I can go up to them and say, hey, um, I see you've had a reaction. Do you want to talk about it? Or is there anything I can do to support you? And everything just shifts.
It
Everything
does.
just shifts.
I see a lot of your gifts, and almost some what I've been through, I see it also with you too. So yeah, I have a lot of questions for you. So if somebody watching this wants to come and book you, how did they go and do that?
I've got some free gifts on my website, eileenhead.com. You can see I did spell it right.
Yes,
Yep,
you
I did
did.
spell it
And I
right.
gotta get
Yep, I did.
my
No,
mom
I did.
glasses.
eileenhead.com. So I offer a free call. Let's hop on and see where you're at and what you're
Yeah,
struggling with. The Enneagram test, the 9-paragraph test, is free on my website. And I follow it up with a call to make sure you've typed yourself. I have so many resources for people. Um, I want people to realize that you need to invest in yourself. We invest in a university education to get a better career and a better job. Invest in yourself. Hire a mentor, a coach for a period of time. If you're yearning for an elevated life, a more conscious life, happy, joyful, and not just a partner, but a partner with a higher vibration or that matches your vibration. figure out why it is that you're attracting in those that are not. If you're in a relationship that you're struggling with, I had one man phone me up and said, "You're working with my wife, and she's considering stay or go. I want you to hear my side of it." And I put them back together. He thought he was helping. She thought he was controlling. It's just a dance we do. It's
Yeah.
personality differences. It's just a dance, and it's consciousness. And it is choosing. Everything's about a choice, choose to or choose not to. It's about choosing to how you want your life to be, and
Yeah.
learning some skills and tools. Um, People will say to me who follow me on Facebook, "You're so lucky. You're always doing stuff. You're so lucky. You lead such a great life." No luck involved. I
Yeah.
consciously choose my life and how I'm living it.
You see, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I know as I journey through, dating again and stuff, I wish there was a better way to kind of put this out in open before. Even if it was in a book or a game wise or an app where you get to ask questions about each other, stuff like that. You can only do so much. And, with all these dating apps now, it's easy to swipe and look at other people, but are you really losing it, the listening skill of it? If you're talking to somebody on the phone, you need to give them your full focus, not be looking at other women, and getting distracted by somebody giving their time, their energy. If you're looking to find love, you've got to stay focused on that too. So,
What I've learned about men, that really surprised me. My perception was, they were into themselves, and we had to cater to them, and they weren't very, what's the word? They're not great at responding, but they haven't been taught to. And men are very sensitive, and a lot of them have also been very shut down by
mhm,
women. And so, if we can get ourselves out of the way and be in a place where we feel confident, we can say things to them like, "I'd like to share with you how I'm feeling, and this is the response that would really make me feel better. Are you
mhm,
willing to do that?" And I
yeah,
was in a relationship for a short time with a fellow, and there was a reason there was a short time. But when I met him, I said to him, "You're going to be a gift to me, and I'm going to be a gift to you. And I don't know how long this is going to be," because he was a lot younger than me. And he ended up going back into his marriage, which I think made his marriage better. But the
good.
thing is, I was able to practice those things with him. Are you willing to do this? Would you be willing to do this for me? This is how I feel. Would you be willing to do this? And you can ask me the same things. That's a whole different conversation when you're meeting someone. You know, I do scripting with clients on conversations to start and how to engage someone. And the Enneagram makes it a lot easier when you recognize the personality. It's also lifestyle. Lifestyle and beliefs
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
really, really important. When you go on the apps, the dating apps, they are profiling you. They are attempting to set you up with similar interests and similar, but what it doesn't, what is it isn't able to do is the consciousness of the
See,
person.
that would be good. You got to start your own dating app doing this.
Maybe.
I'll sign up
Who
right
knows?
away for
Who
that.
knows?
Well, also, I mean, have you written any books or anything? Put out blogs,
I did write a book
publications?
a long, long time ago, right after my marriage, and it was "Why Can't I Figure Us Out?" I don't resonate with it much, so I don't. It was more of a healing journey for me. Still good information about the Enneagram in it. I have been co-author on a number of books. When Women Talk, I'll put that out there. That was an anthology of a number of women. There's about 3 or 4 other books that I co-authored in as well. So
That's
I can give you those titles.
Well, guys, as you know, my listeners, on the website, of course, www.keephopealivepodcast.com, there is a store section. So I will add those books that you would like me to on there so they can go look at those and get them. But I know even with your website, I'm going to go on and do that test because I'm
Yeah,
just
do.
dying to know.
Yeah. And then make sure you follow up with the call. And my workshop is coming out this week. I think it's going to be a 3 week. We're going to delve into some of these tools of not just creating a vision board, but how to work with it. As I said, the limiting beliefs and the frequency that you need to be at once you get it created. So, and then from
Okay.
there, I'm open to coaching as well and mentoring.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Hear that, guys? This is a win-win podcast. So, but yeah, definitely. Now, are you on like any social media like Facebook or Instagram?
I'm on Facebook. I have my personal page, which I post mostly on. I've got Eileen Head, intuitive transformational coach. I'm on Instagram, Eileen C. Head. Um, what else am I on? LinkedIn, Instagram, just getting on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm so busy creating programs that, but I will be posting more on Instagram. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you have questions, like shoot them to me and I'll answer them.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys, remember, I do have the Keep Hope line number at 833-780-HOPE. So if you have any questions, also, you can send them that way and I'll get them delivered over to you so we can get those answered. And also on the website, there is another like voicemail function. So I think it's only 30 seconds long, but if you talk fast, we'll get it. So, but my
Well, you
goodness,
have a
now
lot of gifts yourself, a lot of healing gifts and a lot of intuitive gifts that you are service in service to other people as well.
yeah, definitely. So, and it makes you feel good. At the end of each day, I look back and as a photographer and a certified wedding planner, I've seen so much already in the world and everything. But going through this, and my son, I have to give him a little bit. He was a pusher for me too to do this, and I give him credit. But seeing all these things and the outcome of what this year has brought me, I already celebrated 1 year for doing this podcast, but how many people it's actually touched and around the world. And, I get to see how people are using it. How is Apple and Spotify and Audible and, it just goes on iHeart. What are those numbers and trending? But I had to tell myself, you know what? Not everything is about numbers. You may think it is, but to me, I'm saying it's about the people who are taking time, my listeners, to get to know everybody. So if the numbers come, great, but that's not my main focus. It's getting the word out and everything. So,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
One
but
person,
definitely,
you can
yeah,
change one person, just like that man. You listened to your intuition, you went out,
yeah,
reached him and touched him with your hands. That is,
yeah. Yeah, that felt very, very good. So many stories and so many learning ones at that. I've really had to put my feet out there and be like, okay, well, I got this. And I think what helps me now, my son, he wants to be a children's minister also when he gets older and he wants to be a pro football player. But so we started going back to church, but just hearing the sermon every Sunday, it helps, when we talk about hope and love and faith, all coming together. That gives me also initiative to get through the week and everything. So, but I wanted to say thank you so much. And I hope we got everything covered. Just remember, you know, going to her website and getting that free test and then give her a call, book her, because you know what? This, in the long run, is what the world needs to make relationships work. If you're probably still married, having complications, I mean, back in the day, I wish I had you to contact. I really
Well,
do.
as a wedding planner, the biggest gift you could give someone is a personality reading with them.
You
I've done
see?
that for couples. Some ministers in some church won't marry them until they've done the Enneagram together.
I like that. That's a good idea. That is a really good idea. Because so many couples now, I hate to say, it's either A, they're not wanting to get married and just live together and forget that whole piece. But, also, I want to say not only weddings, but dating. I think if you're like 6 months in with somebody, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna be like, "I wanna sit down with the guy I like and do this now because, I want to make sure it's a true fit." And, like I told you, I'm a runner. Why am I running? Let's figure this out, you know? So if you can learn a lot about each other on both ends, then it works. It makes
Up to
things.
this point, if I could correct your language, up to this point,
Oh,
I have been a
okay.
runner.
You
That's gonna
got it.
change. Yeah, that's gonna change.
Yeah, it will. I know I had a reading done by a lady named Olga, and what is it, like a chakra reading or something? And oh my gosh, at the end of that reading, and I have it on my Facebook page for Keep Hope, it said, and she moved to a castle with the walls. And, I was like, ooh, a castle, and to me, I was like, okay, it's just gonna take a little bit more time to hit that castle because I'm still learning, I'm still going through my journey, but as a result, I'm headed the right direction, it turns
Yes, you
out,
are.
so, yeah.
Yes, you
But,
definitely.
definitely. Well, really quick, of course, thank you for coming on to the show. I wanna thank our other, sponsors who make Keep Hope Alive afloat. As we mentioned, I have lifeonrecord.com, and they are your vintage phone for any kind of event where you can leave a message, and they'll either put it on a 12-inch vinyl record or they will, put it on a keepsake speaker, which is really cool. So check them out. Another vendor that I go into a commercial with a lot, I just forgot to put the bracelet on for this show and I feel so bad, but it's called Snap Bands. You've probably seen them on Facebook, and the bands have mantra words. Like mine will say hope on it. Behind the bracelet, it has an elastic pull that you tug, and just with a gentle tug, it will click onto your hand and you say that mantra word. Like, here's an example: hope. I will end up in the hospital, and I can show an example now. It's pretty weird, but I'm always praying for the nurses to find my vein because, let's see. Yeah,
Oh,
this happens. um, but we talked and prayed over it. I have the worst veins ever. But going back, it will help you with the anxiety or depression, or if you got PTSD, whatever it may be facing, you just say that little prayer with the mantra word, and it helps release that. And you can literally breathe again, and they come in all different colors and everything. So visit them at www.snapbands.com, and it's spelled SNAPPBANDZ.com. Our next one is Ogden Ventures LLC, Mr. Marcus Ogden. He is a former football player. He is an author, and he also does public speaking. Check out his information at Marcus Ogden, and let me spell that. It's MarquesOdgen.com. Our next one is bridalshowsinc.com. Naomi has been running these trade shows for so many years, bring people to meet vendors to plan events, whether it's a caterer, a DJ, a photographer, a fashion line. She has it all. She does about maybe 5 to 6 shows out of the year. So go on her website. People from all around the United States will fly in for these shows, which is really, really neat. Our next one is Bryce Harney at www.brycemagic.com. You've probably seen him on TV before. He is a really good magician and mind mentalist. He does big corporate events, even church events. But to see him in action, it's one thing for me to say it, but I'm telling people go to YouTube and type it in Bryce Harney and watch him. He's amazing. Our next one is Miles and Smiles Events, Miss Deborah Rose. She does handwriting analysis and lipstick readings for any kind of event that you may have, or just she even has her own podcast show. And she is down to the point accurate. I couldn't believe it. I'm a tough cookie to crack too, because I'm always just looking for the best and best with vendors when I was in the event industry. But well, she's amazing. I even have her helping me with one of my groups and stuff, and that's how much I adore her, and I love the work she does. So our last one is richmondpunch.net. Richmond graduated from the Juilliards, and he is a violinist for over 30 years. He's been on a couple Lifetime shows, performed in front of a million people, and he is out on tour right now. So if you need a good violinist for any of your events, reach out to him. Now, wherever you find your podcast, you'll be able to find Keep Hope Alive. We are going almost into season 18 with all new
Oh,
topics. We are doing our first panel one today, and I'm so excited about that. Talking about chronic pain and woohoo, what the world needs now. We got to understand healthcare and different people's stories throughout the world and how can we bring awareness to this. So but other than that, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate and learning a lot from you. That was amazing. So, all right, guys,
thank you
until
so
our
much for having me on and allowing me to share my passion and keep doing what you're doing. Amazing.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Until our next show, guys, love and light. We'll see you next time.